Hello and welcome to another edition of the Appetizer. This is Will, and here joining me again is Austin.
Hey, Will, what are we looking at today?
We're looking at Ratchet and Clank, which is it's a remake of the old school platformer that released in the PS2 back in 2001. But Insomniac has decided to release this in tandem with their movie releasing later this month, and we're seeing like basically a giant overhaul of like the original game. So just from like the graphical fidelity and all the parts, it's still very true to the original, but you can see they've done a modern imagining of the series.
Yeah, it looks really good. Now I know they released a remaster of those PS2 versions not too long ago. How does this one differ?
This is basically an entirely new game from just how they built it. Everything, all the levels are kind of the same in terms of the layout, but they've shortened some parts and added some new sequences. So basically go into this like as your first Ratchet game, and it's quite breathtaking.
Is that what you recommend? Do you think that this offers just a modern take on the classic Ratchet formula while keeping true to the story? Or?
I think so, yeah. So they add a lot of modern elements like strafing and the just in the lock-on and everything is just a lot more smoother. Before in the previous games, you were constantly looking for bolts to like buy all your weapons, but now they've kind of gave more leeway in how many of those you can collect to like buy new weapons. So it's not that high of a difficulty curve, but it still provides a challenge if you're playing on the harder difficulties. I'm playing on casual because I know how hard the Ratchet and Clank series can get.
So you mentioned that this is a kind of a tie-in to the movie. Does it follow the same story as the movie? Do you know if that's the case with this?
So the tagline for this game is, "This is the game that's based on the movie, which is based on the game." So this has more in line with the movie because they're actually using some of the assets from that in some of the cutscenes themselves. So you can see kind of like the CGI, more Pixar-like animation here. But for just in terms of the story, this is a retelling based from Captain Quark's perspective, so that having someone else tell the story allows him to kind of change things up with the original.
Cool, that sounds interesting. It looks great. This is like, you don't see a lot of these kind of brightly colored, beautifully cartoonish worlds on this generation of consoles. And did it hold up? Did you run into any like technical problems in your playthrough so far?
No, this is actually the smoothest I've seen from a Ratchet and Clank game. I've never played the PS3 ones. I kind of topped off that train after the PS2, so coming back to this on the PS4 has been kind of amazing to see like that progression of this franchise.
Yeah, I mean, just the like animation and the detail here is awesome.
Yeah, they've gone into a very Pixar DreamWorks like thing with their PS3 games, and just from seeing like the videos and now just playing it, I can tell why they put a lot of effort into making this feel like a movie, but play like, you know, a video game as well.
Yeah, so I haven't played the Ratchet and Clank games, but I remember them kind of being known for the weird weapons at a certain point. How does this one bring that? Do they have a like only weapons from the first game, or they do a lot of stuff from newer games, or what?
So it's a mix and match. So they all, like most of the original weapons are in there, like the Rhino and the, but then they added some new ones like the Groovertron. I don't remember being in the PS2 series, so it's just kind of bringing in a lot of different weapons from different eras of Ratchet into this. So I mean, of course, you have the signature wrench and stuff, and Clank has kind of a support role in like having the helicopter or gliding feature there. But the weapons themselves, it takes from all different parts of Ratchet.
The nav computer indicates that there is an important
Have
gadget
you
we must retrieve in a
do you have
relay.
any idea if there's any kind of other like modes or features that they added, or is it just a single player experience? I remember some of the Ratchet games went to like a weird 4-player, like I think it was what all.
Yeah, I think so. That was like they had a 4-player multiplayer game, and then they had like a tower defense thing. This is more in line with the original series and the storyline Ratchet games, where it's very single player. But there's a lot of elements that they added to this one, which is you can upgrade your weapons, and there's like a whole like tech tree system where you can use your rare titanium points to upgrade them to like have your weapons fire faster, use less ammo, that sort of thing. So here I'm at the Gadgetron vendor, trying to get some more bolts before I go back into it, but it's where you can purchase like all the new weapons that are available. Starting off, I have a couple weapons I can show off later in this demo, but what's this cutscene?
Yeah, it looks like they. I had watched some videos of the first game, and just in comparison, there's a lot more going on in the moment to moment, just as far as like particle effects and nuts and bolts flying around, and it just looks a lot more detailed, and it really looks like a huge step up visually.
Yeah, in terms of the visuals and just the upgrade from the PS3 games, even they try to make that this feel like this a modern take on the Ratchet series. So here I'm gonna attack some sand sharks, and they pop out of the ground. So I kind of cornered them here with a grenade. That was you can also upgrade that grenade to have more ammo. But here's a proton drum axe, so it kind of acts as an area of attack thing. You can have it, you can upgrade it to have a longer lasting time, but it's a very good for groups of enemies.
I have a drone thing following you? What's
I have
this
a
guy?
drone thing that can act as a support guy to kind of deal a secondary attack, and kind of using that with the proton drum here, you can basically not do anything and let
set it and forget it.
let the weapons take the work for you. But here I can switch over to like kind of the standard blaster as well. But just in terms of like how many enemies and things are going on in screen, I'm very, very happy that the frame rate held out.
And how is the shooting? Is it difficult to aim? It doesn't look like all the weapons have a standard crosshair. Does that become an issue at all? Or?
No. There's a lock-on feature you can just tap on with the R3 or the left trigger, and you can bring up the aiming pretty quickly and switch weapons on the fly and kind of play around with it. And also you can get into a lock-on feature here, which lets you also like strafe and jump around when enemies are shooting projectiles at you. So it's very fluid and flexible here.
There are a few sand sharks left.
Now, how strictly does it hold to the kind of moment to moment from the first game? Like, are there the same number of levels and same boss fights, or just
so far
changes?
I played a couple of the opening levels. I'm gonna run into some trouble here, but I played some of the open levels, and they've pretty much kept the planets 1-to-1, except I think what I heard that later on is that they've combined some of the planets into one to kind of speed it up. I think there was like 14 planets or 18 planets back in the original game, and they kind of shortened that down, combined some of the planets.
Well, did this get you excited for the movie?
It did. Just seeing like how they tied in some of the movie assets with the game, and it's sort of a reintroduction for a lot of people who played the series but now are like adults.
Yeah.
So that's very nostalgic factor for me, and hopefully, yeah.
It's
hopefully
it's not a $60 game, right? It launched at a lower price.
Yes, it did. It launched at $40, which is very happy.
Yeah,
At the game, Best Buy Game Rewards thing, so it even knocked down the price even more. But it's a $40 game, and it feels like it should be a $60 game.
Cool. Well, it looks great. I think this might get me to, play a Ratchet game.
Yeah,
I
especially if you want to. If you want to get into the more the older style, then I'd definitely recommend the Ratchet and Clank collection. But if you want the kind of the modern take of it, the Ratchet and Clank PS4 is the way to go here. But yeah, it's just amazing, like how many things are happening on screen, and like the graphics never the frame rate never takes a hit.
That's great. Yeah, that's crucial to making a game look good, I think.
I think also, like, I see here the holo cards. There's a whole card collection system in here. As you progress through the levels and find like the little secrets, you can collect these cards. And I'm not sure exactly what they do, but I think you can like merge cards, and yeah, it's a very Hearthstone-like experience here.
Cool. Well, it looks great, Will. Thanks for talking to me about it. Is there anything else you want to add?
No, I think that's about it. I think if you like Ratchet and Clank, you like platformers, you like a $40 game as opposed to a $60 game, this is the one to get.
Great. It sounds like I need to pick this up. Thanks, Will.
Yeah, no problem. See you next time.